Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Wolf. First, I wear many hats here, including working with CTAC, but I'm also on the board of Plaza Jewish, which is Chapels, which is one of the sponsors here. I just want to say one thing about them, which is we've talked a lot about how money drives things. 15 years ago, every single funeral home in Manhattan was owned by a for-profit corporation where profits were the motivators. Plaza was the first not-for-profit funeral home, and it was created so to put people's faith and to honor the family, honor the dead, and honor people's needs for bereavement. It's an interesting model. If anybody from other communities would like to talk to us about how to replicate that model in your own community, I think it's a very powerful thing. Today has been a day of learning and reflection, and I am not going to do a formal introduction of the people that will be on the panel that follows, but I do want to acknowledge the ways that I have learned from them. And I want to start with Reverend Tyrone Pitts. And he has taught me in a way that nobody else I've ever met in my life has, how faith can be an engine for social justice, and how religious communities can be empowered to bring care and healing to even the most disadvantaged in their communities. You've all heard the expression, in real estate, it's location, location, location. When I worked at healthcare chaplaincy, I had the privilege of being located in the office next to Reverend George Hanzo. George will be happy to share stories with you of all of the incredibly dumb questions I came into his office with. George showed me enormous patience, and everything I know about chaplaincy and the role of faith in healthcare, I've learned from George. You may not know this, but in the field of chaplaincy, George is a rock star. He is one of the most important chaplains in America. And Sheila's going to be shocked, like, how am I Bob's teacher? But in Sheila's case, it's not Sheila who I met today for the first time, but it's the institution where she works. It's Maimonides. It had a very transformative role in my life. For one thing, I was born there, but so was my sister's children, my sister's children's children, which are my mother's great-grandchildren. It was a hospital that played an enormous role in everybody's lives in that community. If you ever want to have a teenager think about death, when I was a teenager, my grandmother died at Maimonides about 15 minutes before the Sabbath started. There is a Jewish tradition that the body cannot be left unaccompanied. If you want to have a teenager think about death, have him spend the night on a chair in the morgue watching over his grandmother's body. You think a lot about death. And then shortly afterwards, I got spinal meningitis and I was near death, again in Maimonides. But my real learning came from Pam Breyer, who taught me that you could bring an institution to the community and you could bring a community into the institution. So I've learned a lot from the panel, and I hope you will too today. And I invite the panel to begin. And we're going to start that presentation with Reverend George Hanzo.